We have Riley Gaines. 5 middle school female athletes in West Virginia refused to throw shot put against male Becky Pepper Jackson. This comes just 2 days after the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals blocked the West Virginia laws that says you must compete in the category that matches your sex. It's a sad day when 13 to 14-year-old girls have to be the adults in the room, but I couldn't be more inspired by and proud of these girls. Enough is enough. The tide is turning. So basically in this video, you'd see the girls walk up, do nothing, and then walk out. They don't throw the shot put. They refuse to participate. This is what they should be doing, and I have tremendous respect for it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'd like to mention where this goes, because Brandon, you mentioned sports betting. This is going to be the moment where the image shatters, unquestionably. When they start opening up DraftKings sports betting on a biological male fighting a biological female, and you're like, how come they're giving this fighter minus 1,000 odds? No reason. No reason. It's like, So if I bet $100, I win $1? Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Why? No reason. Just, good fighter. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild when you open up DraftKings, and every single time there's a competition with a biological male competing on a women's team, the odds are the payouts are going to be dirt. You put because if the wild thing is under communism, they'd have to normalize the bets. Mm-hmm. They'd like, no, you can't set the, no, it's 50-50. There's 2 people and we're all equal and you can bet on who you want to win. It's like, I'll bet on the male.
Right.
I win.
And then the left-wing social pressure comes in and pressures people to place bets on the biological female. And then we start seeing some normalization. Mm-hmm. That would be really interesting. Well, like, do they change as the media comes in? Do betting odds change as the media comes in and attacks?
So what happens is betting odds are basically what people are betting on.
Right.
So if they say we've got 2 fighters, here they are, and then everyone bets on fighter B instead of fighter A, then you win nothing if fighter B wins. You win a dime if you're lucky. But the person who bet on fighter A wins massively. The odds start shifting depending on how people are betting. So that's how odds are calculated. Horse races are easier for me. I'm not big on sports betting outside of this, but the horse racing is obvious because they show you the total prize pool. Mm-hmm. And then you can see how many people bet on which horse. And the more you bet on one horse, the less you're likely to win because all the prize pool is in one area. It's not like these guys are actually paying you. They're all from the prize pool. So what's going to happen is the narrative will be broken. You're going to okay, we got a boxing match, and if I bet on the female, you'll get value bets out of it. So people would make the bet. It's like a $1 bet wins you 10 grand. It's like, oh man, I could buy a soda. Why would I give my $1 away?
Yeah, you'd give your $1 away. That would be what it would be.
But it would be a value bet. A $1 bet for a chance to win 10 grand. A lot of people would take. Why not? Maybe. But
how many people would do it morally?
Has a heart attack or something. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
How many people would do it morally, do you think? Well, because they're looking at it and they're saying that I've been saying for a very, very long time that there's no difference between men and women. You don't think anybody would?
They're lying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're going to be like, why would I give my money away? I've virtue signaled on Twitter. I don't need to say anything about this. What would be funny is if you launched, if someone on the left launched a campaign saying, let's all wager for our friend to win. But the problem is they'd wager for the trans person.
Right.
The moral support would be like, no, we're going to support our trans friend. And
yeah, that would be the virtuous position.
Exactly.
Throw the woman under the bus. I think it's been a long time coming that women should not be participating when they are faced with a male competitor in these situations. The women who had to swim against Leah Thomas, I think they were a little gobsmacked by that and they went along with it. They should have backed out and said no. I think that's true in every single one of these cycling races where you have, the trans competitors coming in and besting the women in all of these cases. That's true in the track races in Connecticut. It's true in the, when people have been running against CC Telford, the NCAA, all of these situations. The right thing to do is to back out. Now, women look at this, however, and they're like, hey, I've been working my whole childhood. I've been swimming in all of these meets. I've given up so much. I don't want to have to give up more. And it is wrong that the championships and the scholarships, the awards, the accolades, even the 5th place trophies were taken away. But the only way to do this is a total, complete boycott. On the other hand, what we'd find with the total complete boycott is that people aren't really that interested in women's sports. So that's a thing too.
I think women voted for this.
Yeah, women
proud of
definitely
them.
voted for that.
I'm very proud of them.
Proud of them for voting away their rights. And
it's not men voting for this. If you look at the voting maps, if you removed every woman voter from the voting pool, the country is 98% red.
Yeah,
like men, like it's not that the country men are 98% Republican. It's that men are like 55 to 60% Republican. So they win every district except for like Oregon and Washington. And then if you get rid of all the male voters, then the entire country turns blue.
Well, along with these Title IX changes, one thing that Biden administration did not include were rules on trans participation in sports. They're still working on that. And they proposed a second rule. And the second rule would prohibit these kinds of blanket bans like West Virginia has that the ACL is targeting and the ACL is targeting in states around the country.
The ACL?
The ACLU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. So the ACLU has been targeting all of these things, targeting states that reject puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones for minors and all of these kinds of things. And the Biden administration would say, no, that you cannot have a blanket ban, that you have to have consideration based on age and skill level and all of these little metrics that would be very easy to then say that you were being harassed and discriminated against if you're not allowed to play on your gender-selected team.
Yep. And then why wouldn't these teams just become dudes? Look, they say that 30% of Gen Z identifies as LGBT.
Yeah, but one of those designations is queer, which is just a political
doesn't matter. And they're saying that you don't have to dress a certain way to be trans.
You don't have to do anything to be trans. You can be.
Then it's simple. Like if Phil wanted to, he could sign up for a women's softball team and play on women's team. Why not?
Just
Call
like
me ma'am.
in Lady Ballers, right?
But right. So why wouldn't
You have to scream, call me ma'am. You have to scream that.
So basically what you're going to get is you're going to get A team and B team. It doesn't matter if it's if you call it men's or women's. What's going to happen is they're going to be guys who play on the basketball team for their high school and they're going to be super good. Then there's going to be guys who didn't quite make the team and they're going to be like, I guess I'll play on women's. And they'll go, yeah. And then they'll go, Judge, I decided to be a woman. And they're like, right, because men and women are interchangeable social constructs. You're on the women's team now. And there'll be no females.
I mean, the left thinks that about just people in general, like
Not
the
about
person,
race.
The person doesn't matter. But identity is a weird topic because it doesn't matter the person. The identity is what they're using.
The identity
They'll
is what
plug in
matters.
identities. But
That's
the thing
why
is,
viewpoint diversity is
their
meaningless to
perspective
them.
is that the individual itself or the individual themselves doesn't matter. That it doesn't matter who the person is. They believe you can just put them in and every person being equal will perform the job the same. And that's just not the case.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I went to Thailand on Chinese New Year and I was in some big market in Bangkok. And it's this big long strip and it's crowded. And it's the weirdest experience. I could see the tops of everyone's head. It was wild. I mean, for real, it was like a weird thing for me. So like I'm 5'10". So in the United States, that's like give or take, it's like average, you know what I mean? And I go to Sweden and Norway and I am looking up at everyone. Like everyone is 6 feet tall in those countries. It's crazy. Then I go to Thailand and I'm taller than everyone. And I'm like,
Isn't everyone
people
like
are different.
super tall in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
Freakish.
Yep.
They're freakishly tall over there.
Well, they would call it normal.
Yeah, they would. Well, I mean, that's why like that's where the idea of giants came from, because like people from the north that were really tall were coming down into like the rest of Europe and fighting with the people that were shorter. And they're like, oh, the north is where the giants are from. There's giant men up there, blah, 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 because they were tall. So.
I go to Sweden and Norway and everyone's tall. I go to Thailand and everyone's shorter than me. The reality is people are different. You're not going to put a 60-year-old Asian woman on an NBA team. Mark Cuban, are you? I didn't think so. So yeah, you can't have just anyone do any job. There's a reason why we have leagues. I think that gender makes sense. There's an interesting question there too. Why is the NBA, the largest demographic of NBA players, black, as well as, I believe, like over 6 feet tall? That's not fair, right? We need to bring equity into the NBA. The rules are arbitrary. We made the rules up. We said, here are the rules to be on the team. Okay, well, how about we mandate the team has to be ethnically and gender diverse? It's got to be half men, half women. And it's got to be the racial makeup of the team needs to reflect the national population.
And you can even have different height baskets for different height people. If you want true equity,
No, it's got to be.
then you've got to adjust the height of the basket.
No. The teams have to be of average height.
Of average height.
Yeah. So so that means if you have one 7 foot tall player, you have to have at least one like 4'10" player to balance out the average. Because then what they'll do is they take the height of all the players, add them up an average amount, and it must equal the national average. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would work.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.